Alright, hey everybody, this is Blizzard Man, and today we are going to go over the one thing that is just about always asked of me every single day that I'm in a gym. Somebody comes up and says, hey man, my shoulders are bothering me, what do I do? I have the reputation of fixing people's shoulders at this point around the Georgia State gym, and it's really simple because a functional shoulder works in a specific way. The protocols that are given don't address shoulder health. They address that particular issue. You can, and I've seen this. I've seen people, and I've done it. You know, I've seen me do it. Go into an office with shoulders rolled forward like this, and having a rotator cuff problem, and the tech is going to say, hey, we're going to do external rotations, we're going to do some stretches, we're going to do some a little bit of internal rotation, but not much because we don't want that to overpower the external. We're going to start working on some supraspinatus, you know, some shoulder raises and things like that. They'll take you through a treatment protocol, and they'll have you rest for a while, give you those TheraBands, and then your pain starts going away, it fades, and then you start working out again, and you get right back up with the same problem. You know why? They never fix your shoulder position. Almost every shoulder problem comes from bad posture, and it comes from the same bad posture, and I think it's criminal that these medical professionals are not being trained, because it's not their fault, I don't think, completely, okay? They're not trained to think like this. They're trained to look at this condition, give you a treatment that's approved by insurance so they can get paid, and that's how it is. They are limited, okay? So don't just go start, you know, cursing out every tech. But I would encourage everybody who is in this profession to really present things from this perspective. Some do. The knowledge in this area is growing. It's becoming more commonplace, but we're still a long way from having a standardized, we need to fix your body approach. It's still condition oriented. What this video is for is fixing the underlying conditions that are causing individual shoulder problems. And here's the posture. You're going to see sometimes it's this, sometimes it's this. Very subtle difference, right? You can see the big difference there. Your shoulders really should be more like this. And sometimes you see this and you think, oh, he's got good posture, but then watch them, you have people do, and watch yourself do this. A cable row, okay? You're going to look for this motion. Watch my shoulders. And straight back, right? Even if I'm down here, I don't roll forward. I go straight back, okay? If they're rolled even like this, if they go pull and then roll, they're at risk for shoulder problems. That is not how you should be doing a row. You should be doing a row straight back, boom, straight back. And the reason for that is that if you start rolling the shoulder forward, what you're doing is you are decreasing the space between the acromion process and the humerus. And what that's doing, there's all these muscles that run under here, tendons, ligaments, and when you make that space small, you start rubbing, get friction, and then you start getting inflammation, and that's the beginning of the pain. And if that isn't taken care of, if you don't get rid of that bad movement, you're just going to go through therapy session after therapy session after therapy session, and as soon as you start easing back into your workouts, it's going to start flaring up again. And this is very common. This happens to people all the time, and they think, geez, I guess I just have bad shoulders. And no, you don't have bad shoulders, you have bad posture. Okay, we're going to start taking care of that with this video. So, the way to correct this posture is pretty simple. One other thing I want you to look at is pull-ups. The same thing. You should be able to start from a hang and pull yourself up like this. Okay? Retract it. If you do a pull-up and you cannot do this, you are always doing this, you got issues. Alright? That means that your retractors, they're either weak or they are, I'm trying to think of the right term for this, they're not being innervated properly. Your body has learned not to use them. So what we need to do is teach the body to use them. Once we do that, we're going to start correcting shoulder motion. Now, one thing that happens is that as you work out and your muscles get damaged and they heal in the position that they're in. So if they're here, they heal in this position. This is their new muscle link. And you're going to have to stretch them back out to here. And the way that we're going to do that is with floor stretches. A lot of people do these wall stretches like this. The issue here is that you have to support your body, right? So if you don't want to go falling, if you don't want this joint to come out or twist or do something weird, you have to maintain a little bit of tension with the muscles. And that works directly against what you're trying to do. You cannot stretch a contracted muscle. Okay? They have to be able to relax into the stretch. Otherwise, all you're going to do is end up hurting yourself. At worst. At best, you just won't make any progress. Okay? So we don't want either of those scenarios. We want to make progress and we want to not get hurt. So there are going to be 6 floor stretches. It's really 3 versions of 2 stretches, and I'm going to show them to you right now. The first is going to be a palms up stretch, and the second is going to be a palms down stretch. They're going to use the same 3 basic positions. We're going to get on the stomach, and you can do this next to a wall, which is what I recommend, and I'll show you why in a minute, or you can do this just free on the floor. Okay? We're going to start here, low. And if you're on the floor, you're going to just twist backwards. You want to be reaching towards the behind you with the arm being stretched at all times, and you're going to squeeze the scapula together, not rolling forward. Okay? And what that one does is it helps create a little bit of space here at the front of the socket. The humerus is being pulled forward in most people, and this helps move it to a more neutral position. It stretches some things that you really can't get to any other way. And the second position is the middle. So we're going to go here, and again, we're going to be more or less at 90 degrees. Same thing. We're going to twist, squeeze back, and stretch. The last one is up here, okay? And again, you're going to find the spot that's comfortable for you. We're going to squeeze back. No rolling forward, always squeezing back. And then we're done. Now you're going to do the same thing with palms down. You're going to go here. Right? And I'm going to go with the palms down, I'm going to show the wall and explain why I like it better. I like the wall better because there's less tension on the body. You can relax and concentrate more on the stretch. And things to keep in mind when you're doing these, the pressure should be here. At first, you're going to want to support yourself with your arm. Don't do that. Try and pull your arm back actively. Anytime you're stretching, make it active. Be a part of the stretch. You're not just some kind of tool that gravity is bending. You need to be actively using your muscles, okay? Because what that's going to do is that's going to connect the mind to the muscle. It's going to reconnect your nervous system to the muscles you need to be using. So, and it's going to teach them to pull the shoulder into the position we want it in, the position it belongs in. So, we're going to start off here, and with light pressure on the wall, same thing, not rolling the shoulder under, this is wrong. Like this. And just leaning back. A little more pressure, a little more pressure. Squeeze the scapula together. And done. Okay, now, if you're doing this before a workout, only do 10-second stretches in each position. If you're doing this after a workout or more than like 20 minutes before you're going to start lifting, go ahead and do longer stretches. Longer stretches are going to give you better gains in flexibility, but they temporarily depress the nervous system via neuromuscular inhibition. What happens is your body says, oh God, my muscles are in a really funky position, I'm weak here, I'm just going to tone things down a little bit, I'm going to limit my maximal output so that I don't hurt myself. And then after a little while, your body's going to say, it's okay, I'm back to normal, let's go full force. That's why you don't want to do long static stretches before a workout, or at least not right before. If you're going to do those and then do like a 10-minute run or a 15-minute run or something like that and then work out, you're good to go. So keep that in mind. Now, we've gone over the basic stretch positions. I've explained why I like the wall. It's easier. It's easier to concentrate on the stretch and not worry so much about your body. When you're up here at the top, with palms down especially, you're going to feel very tight. You're going to be stretching some of the lats as well as the chest. And the palms up versions are going to be more oriented towards stretching the front deltoid. And the biggest thing that we want to do is we're just stretching here. You shouldn't feel any pressure anywhere up here. Because of the rotation, we're not actually stretching too much in here. The musculature in the front is what we're going after. Okay? And then the second thing is palms down. Palms down is going to be pec minor, pec major, and lat, mostly. There is some shoulder, but because you are rotated here, the shoulder is already out of the line, the direct line of force. It should be. If you're rolling forward, that's because you're still very, very tight. You have to fight that, even if you're only moving a little bit off the floor. Okay? Remember, we're starting on the floor like this, and stretch starts here. So if you get to here, and you can hold your shoulder back, and you get to here, but your shoulder's rolling under, don't go here. Stop here where you have a good posture, and make sure that you're leaning here, not here. If you're trying to post, two things are going to happen. One, you're going to be making this muscle, which we're supposed to stretch, contract. And what do we say? If the muscle's contracted, you can't stretch it, which means you're going to be wasting your time. The other thing is you're going to get elbow pain, unless you are a very, very well-conditioned gymnast. And in that case, your tendons and muscles around here are strong enough to probably handle a lot of that pressure. But for most of us, that's going to hurt, so don't do that. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut away. I'm going to go downstairs, and we're going to talk about what to do for specific retraction work, because this is only half of the puzzle. We still have to reactivate those. There's a couple options. One is clinical, the rest you can do at home or in the gym, okay? The clinical option is electro-stimulation. It is by far the fastest way to reconnect your nervous system with the muscles to actively use them, but you also have to have a doctor's prescription for any of the devices. So that involves going to the doctor, sometimes getting referred to a specialist, and then having them recommend that particular piece of equipment for your therapy, or going to a physical therapist and having them recommend it. But either way, you have to have a prescription. And you're going to need to, the therapist will teach you how to use this thing properly, and they are amazing tools. They can do a lot and do it quick. But most of us don't have that option, or maybe we just don't want to take it. So for those two groups, let's head downstairs and see what else we can do.